Hello everyone, I'm Brian. Today I'm reacting to Tools for Stress and Anxiety, Dandapani. So everyone, I do believe experiences stress and anxiety. I try not to experience it very much, just merely the tool that I use is understanding. Well, that's really it. Understanding, as far as I can know so far. The reason why being understanding being a great tool is because if you understand what the problem is, then you know what you can and cannot do. If there's nothing you can do, then why you're stressing out about it? Stressing is not going to help the situation. If there is something you can do, well, there you go. You can either do something about it or not. You have a choice. And if you choose not to do anything about it, then you chose not to do anything about it. So why stress over it? If you can do something about it, then do it. Simple. Oversimplifying it, that's about it. It can be more complicated, I'm sure, but at least you understand the basics. So let's go and get started.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our second episode of Conversations on the Spiritual Path. Before we begin, I want to take a moment to say thank you to everyone who's left a comment and sent emails and messages of encouragement for me starting this weekly YouTube series. So thank you very much for that. I really appreciate it.
He hasn't posted in a while. I go through his channel every so often to look at his stuff, and the last time he posted was 2 months ago. I hope he continues to post. I'd like to hear his insight on a lot of things.
So let's just dive into it. So the first question comes from Craig, who lives in Toronto. And Craig asks, how do I start my day on the positive side? I often wake up anxious and stressed. Well, Craig, thank you very much for sending in your question. I would like to respond by first asking you a question, and my question is, what do you do before you go to sleep at night? See, most people before they go to sleep at night are either checking their email on social media, watching a violent TV show or horror movie, or reading a scary book. All of those things can make you have a very restless sleep. And chances are when you wake up in the morning, you could feel very anxious and stressed. So for example, if you go to sleep thinking about work, then your subconscious is just going to be involved throughout the night on work-related issues. And when you wake up in the morning, chances are you can be anxious and quite stressed about it as well. So the best way to wake up not feeling anxious or stressed is to prepare to go to bed, and that's not something that people do very often.
I do agree. I've heard of some other people say that too, but I've never really taken that up, and you know, it's terrible on me and my part, but I take full responsibility for it. So I'm not going to sit here and complain saying, "Oh, I get terrible sleep," even though I do. There's some part of it I can't control. I drink coffee when I get home from work. I love the taste. Honestly, coffee doesn't affect me that much, but sometimes it does. And you know, I notice when I get up, I'm really tired because I have a feeling, even though I'm sleeping, I'm awake. Like my body's awake, action always. And that only happens like once or twice. And but the other portion is the fact that I think my bed is terrible. It's a cheap bed, and I do things to try to sleep comfortably. But honestly, yeah, it was really strange. I think it happened a night or two ago. I had a very, I wouldn't say intense dream, but it felt very real. A little bit more real than most of my other dreams. And and luckily enough, I woke up though. It was really different, and I think maybe I was thinking about it the night before. Again, most of the time I just have normal sleep. I don't get affected by whatever I was thinking about. You know, it's usually fine for the most part.
Here are a few simple things that you can do to prepare to go to bed. You should stop working at least half an hour before you go to sleep. So turn off your email, don't go on social media, just completely shut off, go take a shower, prepare to go to bed. And when you get to bed, sit on the edge of your bed, keep your spine straight, your head nicely balanced on top of your neck. Take a slow, deep breath in, and then slowly exhale again. And while you're doing this deep breathing exercise, focus entirely on your spine. And if you can't feel your spine, gently move your back from left to right a little bit so you can feel your spine. Focus on your spine as you breathe in deeply and as you exhale slowly as well. and then just lay down on your back and go to sleep. And obviously this is going to take practice. May not work the first day, the second day, but if you consistently do this every night before you go to sleep, you'll start having really good, deep, restful sleep and wake up not feeling anxious or stressed. And the other thing also I should ask you, Craig, is what do you do when you wake up in the morning?
Before it goes on to waking up, yeah, I don't feel stressed or anxious in the morning. Although I will say, like when I lay down in bed, I pop in my phone and watch YouTube, and I'm sitting there like getting so sleepy watching. It's like, oh, I need to stay up until this is done, and I can put up my phone. And I like watching YouTube makes me sleepy for some odd reason. Well, when I'm tired, obviously. And then when I put up the phone and I'm about to go to sleep, I'm like, okay, I'm now wide awake. I don't want to fall asleep with the phone in my hand in my bed. I want to put it up somewhere safe so I don't drop it somewhere. But when I take that away, all of a sudden my brain just wakes up. It's like you're telling me when you're watching YouTube you fall asleep, but when you're not and you're trying to go to sleep, you're awake? What crap is this?
It's the first thing you do. Most people use their cell phones to wake them up. So do you roll over, pick up your cell phone, turn off your alarm, and then start checking your email and social media? If you do that, then I encourage you not to, because that's just going to get the whole ball rolling with work-related issues and can bring about anxiety and stress. So my suggestion, the first thing to do when you wake up is just reflect on what you're going to do throughout the day, or just reflect on gratitude. You could also do the same breathing exercise where you sit on the edge of the bed, take a few deep breaths, and focus on your intention for the day. So I hope these tips are helpful, and it's something that can help you feel less anxious and stressed when you wake up. So thanks so much for your questions, Craig.
It's not a bad idea, honestly. I mean, maybe I should start taking that up, but I usually end up staying up so late that I get to the point, like, I usually stay up, and when I start getting tired, that's when I go to bed. I watched Dr. Mike on YouTube, and he says that, you know, when you go and lay down in bed, if you don't fall asleep in 15 minutes, just get up and go do something else. Which is very odd for him to say. I mean, I guess that may make sense. I remember actually at one time just laying in bed for like 2 to 3 hours, not going to sleep. I have no idea why. At that point, I just got up and said, okay, fine, you're not going to bed, let's just go do something else. Especially just laying there for 2 hours. This is crazy. But yeah, I typically wait until I'm tired, then I go to bed. Usually works out
Our
pretty
next
good.
question comes in from Matt in Washington, D.C. Matt asks, I have battled anxiety for most of my adult life. What do you believe is the root cause of human anxiety? Do you believe there's a connection between one's spiritual practice and how they process anxiety? Matt, let me tell you a story. When I was growing up, I had met my guru when I was about 21, and I was going to join his monastic order, which was in Hawaii. I was at that time living in Western Australia and studying in university. And I remember in my last year of engineering, I was feeling extremely stressed. I had a thesis which I'd been working on for 1.5 years that I needed to complete.
Holy crap.
In the next month, I had about 7 or 8 examinations that I had to pass in order to graduate as an engineer. I was the president of the youth group of our temple over there, the local temple over there, and we were organizing a lot of different events. And I was also dancing as part of a dance company that I was involved in, and they were also putting up a big show, so we were rehearsing almost every night. And I remember emailing my guru saying, Gurudev, I'm really stressed, I have all these things going on, and I'm stressed. He emailed me back, and I don't remember the exact words that he used, but he emailed me back and said, the reason you're stressed is because you don't keep your awareness on one thing at a time. And I'll be absolutely honest with you, ever since that day I've never felt stressed anymore. And I know it's a very bold proclamation to make, but it's true. Because I clearly understood what he said to me at that point. Whenever I was dancing, I was thinking about my thesis. And when I was working on my thesis, I was thinking about the exams I had to do. When I was working on my exams, when I was studying for my exams, I was thinking about the youth group. And wherever I was thinking about something else. Anxiety comes because we allow awareness to drift away from the present moment and go into the future or into the past, in an uncontrolled way. So the past and the future are not bad things as long as we indulge in them or we enter them with the aim to learn from them. But we don't, if we just allow awareness to travel into the past and the future all the time, it creates anxiety. And we do that because we're afraid.
I would say also, I mean, I don't know if this is going to help anyone or not. I mean, keeping track of the things that you need to do and how much time you have to set for each one. If you can manage that and then during certain time periods, focus your time on that and nothing else. Maybe set an alarm on, like, say, 1 hour studying this subject, 1 hour, and then the next hour studying this subject. Set an alarm for 1 hour, so that way you're not like, okay, I can 5 more minutes. Oh, 3 more minutes. I can. You're constantly diverting your attention between. It's like, oh, I need to stop this in 3 minutes, and you're not focusing on what you're doing. Focus on what you're doing, and once the alarm goes off, then you change your focus. I'm saying this, having went to college and I went to school, should I say, and I don't think I took this advice. Somewhat I did, I'm sure, but I wish this is stuff that. This is something that you learn as you go along, and it's nice to know ahead of time. And it's not to say that it's going to work for everyone, but it's a good start.
Anxiety comes out of a sense of fear where we allow awareness to go into the future. We create a situation that hasn't happened. We bring it back into the present and start living it as it has already happened. You keep repeating the process over and over and over again. You build anxiety. I'm going to get sick. I'm going to get sick. You think in the future, what if I get sick? Then what happens? Oh my God, I'm going to get sick. And then you bring back the present and you start living that. 5 minutes later, you let your awareness go into the future and you think to yourself, I'm not going to get better, I'm going to get sick. And then you bring awareness back into the present again and you start worrying about it. You keep repeating this process over and over again and you build anxiety.
That's interesting. Actually, the way I live my life is, it's kind of not what it's saying, but the I guess the counter to that is that only deal with the now. I've honestly never thought about it that way, but it's something that I've done. There's nothing you can do about the future, and the future's not set. So why worry about it? Kind of like people saying that, oh, if you fly in a plane, are you afraid of falling out the sky? It's like, well, I mean, I don't know. I mean, probably, honestly, but until it does happen, there's no point in worrying about it because it hasn't happened yet. When it happens, I'll worry about it then. Now I just fly on a plane. It's like, what's the point of bringing this anxiousness into your life now when it hasn't even happened? Why bring it forth? This unnecessary stress or unnecessary emotions that you're feeling, that you're bringing upon yourself that hasn't even happened yet. That's so interesting. That actually, whenever I say that now, it makes me think about Eckhart, about talking about the future instead of living in the now. What else? I can't remember if there's another guru or swami that said something about terms of present, past, and future and all that. I know Eckhart does talk about the now being, and you're only ever in the now, which is, again, it's something that we should all know, but it's just so eye-opening whenever someone points out the obvious. It's like, we should have known this, but it's just, I don't know, we didn't, but we should have, kind of deal.
So the way to overcome stress and anxiety is to really control where your awareness goes. Every time your awareness goes into the future or into the past in an uncontrolled way, bring it back to the present again. And just do this exercise. Be mindful of this throughout the entire day. Don't let your awareness go into the past or into the future in an uncontrolled way. Okay? Matt, I hope this helps you. And this is something that you can practice throughout the whole day. And the more you practice this, the better you get at it. And I'm very confident it'll help you overcome stress the same way it helped me overcome it as well. And it takes nothing but consistent practice to accomplish this. Thank you, Matt, for your question. I hope this really helps you. And I hope to hear back from you. Well, everyone, thank you for watching another episode of Conversations on the Spiritual Path. If you have a question, please email them to admin@dandapani.org. You'll see the email address coming up down below me. And I look forward to hearing from you. Thank you so much.
leave that up there. So yeah, it's very interesting. I never thought of the focus portion. I would have always said time management. You know, set time aside for certain activities that you need to do, studying, work around the house, or whatever it is. I mean, luckily enough, I've had, I guess, plenty of free time where I do yard. I know that I need to do yard work, and I focus on that. It doesn't matter how long it takes. I just need to do it, and I manage my time. I think about what I need to do when I cut my yard, so I think of the best plan. It's kind of what I do at work too. It's very strange. So I know I have a battery-powered lawnmower, a push one. So you push it, and you can only cut so long before the battery gets drained. Then you have to stop and charge it. What are you going to do at a time? Just going to sit and do nothing? No, I usually end up cutting the front yard, half the yard first, charge up the battery, then I grab the other battery-powered weed eater to do the trimming, the edges around the perimeter, and also in the back. And by the time I'm done with that, the battery's charged enough that I can finish off the backyard. So I manage my time. I work out a plan that works best to get the job done efficiently and quickly. You're not going to get it right away, so you're going to have to probably do some tests like, okay, is it better for me to cut a quarter of the yard and to charge the battery, then do the weed eating, and then after the weed eating's done, put it up and grab the battery and put it in the lawnmower, do a quarter of the half, and then put the charge, and then do the other weed eating. You know, you have to figure out what works best. For me, that I enjoy is just half the yard, charge the battery, weed eat all of the yard, and then finish off the yard with the last lawnmower. And then after I'm done cutting the grass, I look at like mounds and whatever else that I need to do in a yard after I'm done cutting. And for work, you know, I work by myself, so sometimes I get multiple calls. And what I do is I try to prioritize what's more important or what's quick and easy to fix, depending. And also the path I take all around my job, because you know I have to get from destination A to B, and I don't want to go from over here to the other side, then back over here, then back to the other side, then back over here, then back to the other side. I'm going to go here, 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 and then come back. You know, efficient path, quick and easy. Things I know I can fix at the time, and things that might take some time, depending on priorities, time management, priorities, and the last thing, which is focus. Honestly, I genuinely, even though it's something that you should do, but it's something that I would have never said. I guess it's because it's assumed in my part. Or maybe not even assume. Maybe you could be thinking about other things, like while you're working on that, think about solution for another thing, which is not a good idea. You need to focus on your job, what you're doing, so that you can do it right without mistakes. Alright, well, that's weird. Anyways, that's my reaction to a tool for stress and anxiety from Dandapani. If you like my content, please consider subscribing, thumbs up, thumbs down below. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next vid.